Overwatch is back with another weekly article, the Weekly Recall. It's called The Balancing Act, written by Scott Kennedy, aka Custa, aka former Overwatch League pro Custa from LA Valiant, if you watched back then, aka my teammate last year when we did our OWCS run last year. Let's see what he has to say. Scott says, "Hey everyone, Scott here, reporting." I love how I try to do an Aussie accent. That was pure reflex instinct, my bad. Scott here, reporting from the hero design team about a subject that's always at the forefront of our minds. Balance. This is one of the trickiest parts of game development and often one of the hottest topics in the Overwatch community. We want to show you a bit of what that process looks like from start to finish and how we arrive at balance changes from hero-specific adjustments to whole game modifications. You'll also get a sneak peek at some of the changes coming to Season 17. All right, this next subheading is called Data, Feedback, and Action. If it wasn't obvious from past Weekly Recall blogs and director's takes, we're big fans of data here on the Overwatch 2 team. Some of our balance changes are inspired by tangible numbers that come from various sources like pick rates or win rates. We aim to keep heroes within a set win percentage range between 45 to 55%, and if they deviate from it, we know something needs to be done, obviously, because that's an outlier, right? This is less about making all heroes viable in every situation and more about ensuring no hero is ever universally a wrong choice, and if I want to add something, or a always right choice. If they're an outlier at like a 59, 60% win rate, you like must pick it every game. It's like, it goes both ways, Scott. Probably something I would add to this. Hero ban data has added a whole new set of information we can use, and this feature essentially gives you all a direct line to the balance team by way of collected data. High ban rates are a concrete indicator that a hero is an issue for a large subset of players, and leads us to take a much closer look at what we can do to improve the experience of playing against certain heroes. aka Sombra. Contextualizing the data we've gathered is important, and it helps us identify changes that need to be made. For example, Widowmaker has a decently high ban rate on sniper playgrounds like Havana, but that doesn't mean she needs immediate changes. Some players just don't want to catch a headshot right out of spawn. Freya is also an excellent example of how we've already used hero ban data to make improvements. Her win rates were low after she was introduced, so we strengthened parts of her kit to make her more impactful. However, as players got better with that kit, her hero ban rate skyrocketed at the highest skill tiers. Above diamond rank in competitive modes, Freya is the most banned hero in multiple regions. Data is helpful to identify a specific issue, but after that, we look at your feedback and delve into how a hero feels. Feelings are important here, feels within a match. We asked ourselves what her pain points were and analyze community input. The biggest concerns you shared were how oppressive she felt, especially when allowed to spam damage while airborne. This led us to increase the cooldowns of her movement abilities of quick dash and updraft, while also increasing her primary weapon reload time to avoid such constant spam damage. Freya is still a devastating damage dealer, but small tweaks make her less of a terror to play against. Both her win rate and ban rate have stabilized, and we're continuously monitoring all the data to ensure that she lands in a balanced, fun state. Here's a graph we can zoom in on this. Okay, so if we look at the Freya unmirrored win rate at Masters Plus early in April when she was released on April 24th-ish, you can see that her win rate is hovering around 48.5%, 49%, pretty solid. And then as the weeks went on, people got used to her kits. You can see she peaked around 53% win rate in May 19th. I don't know what caused that dip there. I think there was a slight minor patch around that time, but I do know the bigger overall patch that nerfed Freya stuff was on May 29th. And you can see the following day, like May 30th in June, early June, it kind of dipped again down to like 48%, but then people adapted to the new cooldowns and stuff, and the reactionary stuff has moved on, and now it's kind of back up again to 51%. It's actually interesting to see the behavior of win rates day by day. If we look at the ban rate for Freya too, obviously she started off pretty moderate because she wasn't winning too much, around like, what was that, 27%? And then she shot up all the way to 90%. By May 20th, it was over. 21st, it was at 90%, and still climbing, pretty flatlined around 90, which is pretty much as high as you can get. June 8th, that's recent, that's last week. Still at like 91, 92% despite the nerfs. That's crazy. Scott continues, despite the presence of compelling data, improvements aren't so clear or immediate for some heroes. Sombra's ban rates are high in multiple regions on both PC and console, and we're currently discussing future changes. She's a complex case that can't be solved overnight, but just know the balancing team has her in their sights. Next subtopic is called thinking outside the box. Data isn't the only way we decide balance changes though. Gameplay factors like the enjoyment and ease of playing a hero or their ability to keep up with the rest of the Overwatch 2 roster influence our decisions. We also pull back and look at gameplay with a wider lens to make more overarching changes. One big adjustment heading to Season 17 is increasing the damage roll passive healing reduction from 25% to 30%, which should help damage dealers better contend with the amount of healing that support heroes are churning out. That's a big topic right now, burst healing, probably because of the BAP Lifeweaver meta right now we're seeing in ranked and in the pro leagues. The basic global health regeneration timer is also increasing from 5 to 6 seconds in an effort to make damage feel more impactful within matches. I actually think that's more impactful for supports because their natural healing regeneration is at a higher rate. It's like double that rate, so it goes from 2.5 to 3 seconds. Because sometimes like supports, if they just stop peaking as an Ana or something, just for like 2 or 3 seconds and they're healing safely, their self-regeneration kicks in and they just end up being full health. And then this is a slight nerf, I think more so for the supports more than anything. I know it says globally to 6 seconds for the other roles, but like it usually doesn't kick in for a tank always taking constant damage in the front. Same with most DPSs, but supports are usually the least touched in the sense if there's no flankers on the team. So like if the fact that it used to kick in at half the rate thanks to their other support passive, which cuts that global health regen at a double the rate, that one will be affected more for supports. That's just my take on it. Other times we zoom in on hero specific changes that mean a lot to us. When I first joined the hero design team last year, one of my initial balance pitches was a little wild. I actually wanted to shrink Bastion. Our favorite cheerful Omnic does a ton of damage, but the sheer size of his character model makes him difficult to play in many situations. Bastion struggles with survivability even though he has the largest health and armor pool of any damage hero. He struggles because of his giant hitbox, right? Though I was initially and correctly told it would be a difficult change to implement, other departments across the Overwatch 2 team joined the cause and we took a tinier Bastion into internal testing. We found that reducing his size by 15% simply made him too cute, so we kept tweaking the numbers. Bastion's size will be reduced by 10% when Season 17 launches to give him a survivability boost. While it's not the most earth-shattering change to ever hit Overwatch, it's a testament to the many different ways we can change and balance the game for every hero. Other than the tinier and possibly more ferocious Bastion, you can expect lots of minor hero balance changes when Season 17 hits on June 24th. Junker Queen will see some important changes to her commanding shout that prioritize ally over health, making her a more viable offensive tank choice. Perks like Pharah's Helix Shield and Lifeweaver's Cleansing Grip will also get quality of life improvements as well. Nice teasers. Thanks for playing, good luck, and have fun. Thanks, Mr. Custa. Good weekly recall this week. I like how they tease what's coming up and the idea behind all the data. I really appreciate the weekly communication that the team is always doing. If you actually look, they are, I mean, if you follow this channel, you can see they do this every week now, and I was not prepared. I actually double uploaded today, but if you look at recent articles, look at this. Sometimes even back-to-back days. You have the weekly recall, you have Director's Take, weekly recall. We had the Pride Month article, weekly recall, mid-season 16. Very cool. Thanks, Overwatch. Thanks for listening. Peace.